Okay, we're going to get started. First, we're going to be Magdish. The food tonight was donated Leilun Nishmat Shoshana Bat Shimon. She have every word of Torah that we say, whether here on the YouTube, will be Leilui Mishmata. Every word shall grow mala mala. We see this week we also have another 2-for-1 special. Right? We talked about it in the past. Kadosh Baruch Hu's hooking it up. 2-for-1 special. Huh? You go to the mall, imagine how many times you're going to see in the store 2-for-1 special. 2-for-1 special again. Behar-Bechukotai. 2-for-1. How much we can learn? This week's Parashat we have 2. Behar and Bechukotai conjoined together. And from them we learn a beautiful lesson. It says in this week's Parashat, the first one, Behar, it starts off, Hashem tells Moshe, now remember, we're in the desert now. When you're going to get to the land that I promised your forefathers Abraham that I'm going to give you, which is Eretz Israel. When you're going to get there, every single person is going to be promised a plot of land. Almost every single person. A plot of land. According to his tribe, according to his family, a plot of land. Right? And on the 7th year, you'll cease work on that land. And not only are you going to cease work, it's called the Shemitah year. Not only are you not going to work in the land, that all the people who are less fortunate are going to come and they can take whatever they want from the land. You can only take whatever you need to feed your family, no more. But everything else, all the crops that you worked 6 years to make and to grow and everything like that, 7th year, it has to go to the Aniyim, the people who are less fortunate. Now, obviously you're learning about that. We know that everything that happens has something to do with us today. I'm asking, what does the Shemitah year have to do with us? I mean, yes, you're right. The rules still apply today. And Eretz Israel, or for someone like Orel who works in produce, maybe it's a little bit more problematic. But the Shemitah year, for example, today, especially in America, how much of you feel it? Most people, what do they work as? HVAC, cash advance, home warranty, what else? Give me another one. Huh? Real estate, stocks, this, Bitcoin, crypto, Deutsche, Gucci, Mucci, all the coins in the world. Auto mining, Honti mining, everyone's mining something virtually. Used to be back in the day, mining, used to go to Africa, they used to have a gigantic mine over there, everyone's bleeding. Today, mining, you see a bunch of nerds and different type of mining. Then it was called blood diamonds, now called nerd diamonds, you know what I'm saying? It's much acher legamre. You go to certain mines over there. It's not even nerds over there. Now they have thousands of supercomputers. You walk into a farm, shurot of supercomputers, all mining coins. What type of coins? Lo avanti. No tangible coins. It's not like, it prints out a nice coin. No, it's dension coins. Everyone is something else. So comes now the Shemitah year. Did the computer stop working? No. They're still mining Deutsche and Alta and all the other ones. Huh? Ethereum. Everything's being mined, no? The HVAC guy still getting a call in the summertime. Chamli, the AC conditioner is not working. The cash advance guy still getting a few calls a day. I need some money. Or he's calling a few people. I need some money. The home warranty guy still warranting some microwaves or some I don't know what. Huh? The knobs on the microwave. We don't cover the oven, but we cover the knobs. Huh? They're still doing some type of work, no? So what do we do with us? We don't feel it. In Eretz Yisrael, they feel a little bit more. But even those guys, Hashmalaim, electricians, HVAC, air conditioning, they don't feel it. They go to work like normal. So what do we do with us? So imagine now for a second, every single person over here has what they do. I came to you and I told you, next year, 1 year, no work. No work. Can't work at all. That's it. Stay home. Not working. Can't go get to the office. Nothing. Can't work. Right? Whether you work in cash advance, whether you work home warranty, whatever you do, you cannot work. And not only that, the new guys in the office, all the leads you've been putting in the pipeline for the last few years, they're going to take the leads. Don't worry, they're going to get the sales on those. Jeez, it's koev, no? Ay. Shav soref. Up until that point, you didn't feel it. Now I heard they're taking your what do you mean? I got that deal in the pipe. It's coming down next week. On Friday, the deal's going to close. How many times do you hear that? On Friday, the deal's going to close. On Friday, the deal's going to close. Right? Imagine Friday was Thursday was Shemitah year. Friday, you're not getting that deal. Whether it's closing or not. Now you're starting to feel it now. Now we're starting to understand. What's Kadosh Baruch Hu teaching Moshe Rabbeinu when he's telling him about the Shemitah here? Something so beautiful to learn. Said Kadosh Baruch Hu, what's the highest form of emunah a person can have? He says, I'm telling you right now, take off a year, and don't worry, I got it. When the Jews went to Israel, what did they do? They didn't have air conditioning, drapes, sefarim, nothing. What did they have? Every single one worked the land to provide for his family. I didn't have tomatoes that year. My family didn't eat tomatoes. You didn't have cucumbers that year? Your family didn't eat cucumbers that year. Tells you now 1 year, don't work, and Kadosh Baruch Hu says, don't worry, I'll provide for you that you're going to have enough from the year before. Don't worry, it'll be enough and it'll last you the whole year. Who's thinking to himself now, I'm not going to work the land. Not only that, he says, see all the work that he did now. You know how it works with crops. that if you don't tailor them, you don't come and trim them, they get wild, right? Especially the thorns and everything like that, they get crazy. Now you got to come back at the 8th year, now you got to fix everything that was got wishy-washy in the 7th year. Says the Kadosh Baruch Hu, don't worry, have faith in me. Have faith in me. Because it's the highest level of Emunah, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Number 1 level. So what is the God telling Moshe? He's telling him, listen, I want you to understand something. I got you guys in Egypt. Then I came, I did the plagues. After the plagues, we had the Exodus. From the Exodus, we had the splitting of sea of reeds. Then we had the bitter waters that became sweet. Then we had the Ber Miyam. Then we had the man. Then we had water that came from everything you could possibly imagine. If the Kadosh Baruch Hu was telling you, I'm teaching you, you're learning right now what Emunah is. What's Emunah? What does it mean to believe in Kadosh Baruch Hu? First things first, see my power. See what I can do. I'm teaching you right now, the whole process, from Mitzrayim all the way to Israel, you guys are in a learning phase. You're learning, opening up the books. You're learning what it is to have Emunah in Kadosh Baruch Hu. Chavot elevavot, Shara Emunah. You're coming in, opening it up. What's your Shara Bitachon? You're opening up. I have belief in God. Now we're learning. We're seeing all things. You're learning. What Hashem says, it's nice that you guys are learning right now, but just remember that when you're going to get to the land, when you're going to finish learning, now it's time to put it into action. Now it's time to take everything that you guys learned, everything that I taught you guys along the way, and put it into action. All the emunah, all the faith, everything that you learned along the way, all the miracles you've seen, now go and show me that you really believe. Because when we got to Israel, there was no maman. That you woke up in the morning and a piece of delicious buttery cake was sitting on your, or if it was very far away, depending what you did last night. Right? But the reality is if you were tzaddik, right by your door, you got to Eretz Yisrael, you open the door, no maman, no more rock that gives water, now you have to go work. Go plow the land, you have to go to the well, pull up the bucket, do the whole 9 yards to get your food. You have to go and work. Said the Kadosh Baruch Hu, when you get over there, on the 7th year, no more working. What's going on over here? I want to see you guys take all the emunah, all the practice that you guys did, and I want you guys to put it into action. Take it and make it ma'asi in your everyday life. Time for you now to go and put it into action. Right? Get Eretz Yisrael. And this is one of the most important lessons that we can learn. That's so practical to every single one of our days. How many people, they go to a shiur or they speak to somebody, they get inspired, and what happens? On Thursday they get inspired, on Monday it's already gone out the window. Why? Because you learned, but where's the action? You go to shiur, you hear about emunah, you hear about how everything Hashem does is for the best, right? You're driving home, a guy cuts you off, hey, what happened? I just heard in the shiur, everything Hashem does for the best. If a guy cuts you off, it's all good, nice and dandy. You're driving the car, all of a sudden, what's going on with this guy? What happened? You didn't hear the shiur? Everything out the window. All you hear is, have emunah, bitachon, Hashem is with you, the highest level. It's the only way to work at Kadosh Baruch Hu. The next day he goes to work, the deal falls through. Where's Hashem? I don't understand. Where's he in my life? Where's the emunah? Where's the emunah? It's a sure sign. It's a proof that you're not applying the thing that you're learning. You're not applying it. You're just learning it for the sake of learning it. And then when it comes to put it into action, you're not putting it into action. You're not putting it into action. The greatest thing you could do is put it into action. I'll give you a mashal. I'll give you an example. 2 kids go to college, right? They have the same major. They both want to major in real estate finance. Nice, sachtan, huh? You like that one, huh? He's like, that's a major? Yeah. You go to my house, you go to the bathroom, you find my plaque over there, it's hung up. Yeah, the bathroom. Where else is it going to be? I don't even know where it is, I'm just totally kidding. All right? So they both go. They get over there, right? They're both studious, they're both learning, right? So they go to school, both of them work hard to get, they're learning, testing, they're making tests, everything like that. Come to the summertime, one of them says, hey, guys, man, to chill with the boys. He goes to the beach, pops a pina colada, he's chilling all summer. Next semester, again, winter time's around, now it's time for me to go to Mexico. That's it. Goes on a trip to Mexico, right? And this is how it goes for 4 years. 4 years, but during the semesters, grades are amazing. The other guy, grades are good. Summertime, internship. Winter time, internship. Another place. Eventually, both these guys, they graduate. Now, there's a job opening for a job at a construction company to be a developer. And this is the dream job. And both guys apply. The guy who is going out with his friend in the summertime shows his resume, 3.9 GPA, honor society, dean's list. Beautiful. They go through the very rigorous program, and 2 resumes make it to the CEO's desk for hiring. This guy, 2 friends with a 3.9 GPA. The other guy, 3.5 GPA, but 5 different blotches of internships that he did throughout the 4 years. I asked you guys, who's getting the job? Who's getting the job? 3.5 with the internships. Why? He has 3.9. He has a higher GPA. It's the equivalent of a 95. I don't know. What's the equivalent of? It means that you're a genius. No, it means you did very good. Even still, just that you're learning is not enough. Learn and put it into practice. I want to see you to put it into practice. And you don't believe this story? It's my story. Huh? It's my story. This is what happened to me. I was that guy, summertime, winter time. Huh? I graduated, 3.9 GPA, honors list, put the resume on the table, and said, yeah, throw it out. A friend of mine, not as smart as me, got the job. I said, this is right. I said, man, I'm smarter than him. No? Huh? I can do the job better than him. No? I think so. At least then I did. Huh? What's going on over here? So this is what it means. When you're learning, it's time to learn. Okay, that you learn. But you're not putting it into action. That means that everything you learned, out the window, out the door. You don't show me that you know how to use it. You didn't know how to show me. Okay, you know how to study for a test, and you have the cheat sheets from the thing, and you make the little inside the water bottle, the little what's it called? Or you have the Apple Watch, or you have any way to cheat on the test. Today, Baruch Hashem, to get creative. They don't even write essays today. What's going to be the next generation? ChatGPT, write me an essay on a persuasive essay on how development, make it unique, don't scholarly source. Everything in ChatGPT gives you a whole essay. You post it, and it's not going to come up. It's a brand new essay. You're not going to do no work. Don't get any ideas, guys. Yeah, this is just something that I heard. Today, you don't have to do any work. But the guy goes, he learns, just to learn. He doesn't put it into action. What's going to happen? You're not going to get a job. But even in that, you have to put an emunah. Even in that time, I didn't understand what was going on. Why Kadosh Baruch Hu, I studied, I went hard, and I didn't get the job. Today, I can tell you that at that moment in my life, it was such a fragile moment. I had an opportunity to go either way. Either to be standing before you guys here today, or to be standing in Manhattan, maybe with a billboard, coming today, with my face on the billboard, I'm selling this building, you can see the picture, no? You can see the picture, it fits, Imagine you call, hey, hello, this is Lean Associates, I can help, you could see it, you could see the picture, investment sales broker, no? Couple of deals in the portfolio, you go on the LinkedIn, you see, sachten. That's every one of the things. Wow, chazak, every one of them. Like. Congratulate Maor, 3-year anniversary. All this stupidity, But then I would have been here today. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even over there, you have to have emunah in me. You learn about emunah, but when the bad things happen to you, and you're seeing it, saying, hey, wait a second, doesn't look right. So the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's when you have to have the emunah. Specifically there, you have to have the emunah. Is when things aren't looking so great, have emunah. And there's two types of emunah. There's one type of emunah, second emunah. Anyone who watched my brother's clip this week, talked about it. He says, Rabbi Akiva, who just celebrated Lag BaOmer, or really Lag BaOmer for the Sfaradim, which was the commemoration of when the students stopped passing away, the 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva, we spoke about the Omer. And Rabbi Akiva was one of the greatest sages. And he says, everything Hashem does for the best. It's a famous saying. Shulchan Aruch brings this down to halakha. This is the halakha. Everything HaKadosh Baruch Hu does, he does for the best. Right? And that's a high level. What does that mean? You come and ask the guy, no, I want to understand. How are you over so much sarot, so much suffering in your life? And what does he say? You're right, it was hard, but I had emunah, I had bitachon. I went with Hashem, I believed Hashem. It's a high level. I believed Hashem the whole way, even when it was hard times. A higher level, nachem ish gamzu. Gamzu l'tova, which basically means, you come ask the guy, how are you over so many tzarot? How did you go through so many hard times in your life? He's looking at you, says, hard times? What are you talking about? It's hard times. He doesn't even believe it was hard times. Even when it was hard times, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there is no such thing as a hard times. Impossible, they don't exist. Hard times don't exist. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, everything you do for me, it's a man. And that's what it means putting it into practice. Something comes before you, you don't even think. We spoke about it this week. I don't know who was there for the shiur outside the gym. Who was there? Talked about it this week. I spoke about it in the past. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says you have to watch the full movie. If you go to the movie, you watch the beginning, and in the middle, you say it's a stupid movie. You come in the middle and watch the end, you say, okay, I don't understand the storyline. What's really going on over here? You have to watch the whole movie from beginning until the end. You want to see the emet? You want to see how it's true? You can't come in the beginning of the movie and say, what's going on over here? Why'd he leave her? Her heart's broken now. Well, you can't come over there because in the end she's going to meet some guy in Puerto Rico and they fall in love with the love of her life, right? The end of the movie, no? Maybe, I don't know. What's going on today? That's usually the storyline, no? The romantic movies. Oh, you live my heart. Oh, look, it's a Brazilian guy. It's like, what happened over here? She goes on a family retreat or something like that. She finds somebody else. Tic-tac, maher, show. Huh? You should call this movie just The Bounce Back Kid, no? They go right away. I never seen something like that in my life. Who you know that got into a breakup in his life and the next week went away on a vacation to Mexico or something like that. I never heard of it. Maybe you guys heard of it. Maybe Razabi, maybe once or twice. But who you know about? Never heard about these things. Damn it, I never heard. I remember in the past, when other people, not me, when other people would break up, they'd be depressed for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. They're sitting at home, what I'm going to do? I'm not going to find anybody better. And then 3 months later, Baruch Hashem, he gets over it. For 2 weeks, he's sitting down, b'dikon. He doesn't go on a vacation that weekend for a weekend retreat and come back with the love of his life. But you understand the movie? You got to see to the end. You come in the beginning, you're not going to understand the concept. You understand what my emet is? You have to see the end. But what's the highest level? Is that when you're in the Aleph, when you're in the beginning? When you're watching the beginning of the movie, you say, I don't know what's going to be the end. But I know Kosh Baruch Hu, you're the one driving the car, I'm not worried. I know that's for the best. Right now, it seems like it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. But I know Kosh Baruch Hu, that if you're doing it for me, it must be for the best. Now, when do we put this idea into practice? Every single day of our lives, this idea of putting emunah into practice? In business. In business. Business is the number one place where this comes into practice. Do you show emunah? Chazal teaches us, on Rosh Hashanah, the parnasah of a person for the year is kavua. Kosh Baruch Hu already wrote Rosh Hashanah, Mahor Bendel, $5 million. Huh? Yeah? No. Huh? He writes the amount for the year. Already writes in the beginning. I'll buy 5 million. No, say amen. What's wrong with you guys? Nobody here collect the point. You know what I'm saying? You guys, I'm getting out of here. Long story short, he already writes. You have emunah bitachon? How do you know have emunah bitachon? You're selling cell phone accessories, selling a car. Pitom, you see a guy walk in. I'm going to save this guy. I'm going to get this guy. He takes off the sticker from the car, $2,400, puts another sticker, $2,800. My friend, we have a deal for you on the car. Raise your deal. This is $28, you're selling it today for $25. Hello, you said 24 2 seconds ago. Yeah, but this guy's going to buy it. It's a little bit not nice, a little bit dishonest. But I got to make my money. What do you mean? It's mutar. He knows what he's getting into. He knows what he's buying. He sees the sticker. He chooses to buy. It's not my fault. You're right. Maybe al pi halakha it's true. Maybe the guy did agree to pay this price. But morally, al pi hashkafa, ethically, is the right thing to do? Is the right thing to do to take another person a little bit extra on the top? What can you do if you have a situation where you have to do what you have to do? But if you're purposely looking for these situations, if you're not being honest in your business dealings, it's a big problem. There's a reason why the first question they ask you when you get to the next world, Chazal teaches us, is what? Nasata v'natata b'emunah. First question. And second question, kavita timna Torah. First is, were you honest in your business dealings? Yes or no? No? Go home. We didn't get to the second question yet. You kovei timna Torah? We didn't get there yet. We're going to get there. No, what do you mean? I was kovei timna Torah. But you weren't in business dealing? Go out of here already. Go back down. Don't see that tov. First thing first, emunah. That comes in, you have the ability. The famous case, you're selling a car. Transmission is blown. You guys sell the car, you clear the check engine light with your little computer machine, and you sell him the car. The guy goes off, he calls you back from the highway 30 minutes later. The car broke down, it's up in smokes. Sorry, no return policy. Hang up the phone. They're fair. And you're right, maybe al pi halakha it's mutar. Because the guy agreed. Not the point where you're lying, that's not true, that's not allowed. But if the guy agrees to the exasperated price, or to be clipped as we call it, or zapped, whatever they call it, zapped, whatever, all these lingos today. Huh? If the guy agrees, what do you care? You sign the paperwork. About the end of the day, you have to think about the tzar that you're causing that person. Because even if the halakha lets you sell it to him, and later on he finds out and he has tzar from it, there's mekorot, by the way. And I'll show you them right now. The Kadosh Baruch Hu, even for those times, when it's allowed, Hashem will give you a little bit of a slap on the wrist for those things as well. And we're going to see right now how. I'll show you inside. Another thing, before we get to that, but we're going to go to that one now. Huh? What was I talking about? No, we're going to go to that one now. There's the Midrash, even those things, Kadosh Baruch Hu gives a little slap on the wrist. How do we see? The Midrash relates that Yaakov Avinu, when he took the Bechorah from Esav. What happened? Yaakov Avinu took the Bechorah. His mother told him, go and get me some ta'amim, go and get me some meat, I'll prepare for your father. And put on this jacket that was made of goat fur. Right? This goat coat. And go and tell your father you want the Bechorah, you want the firstborn blessing. Now Yaakov comes to his mother, Rivka. She says, Ima, is it okay to lie to Abba? She says, alai. She doesn't lie. Alai. Kivechol an mi. Meaning to say, mutar. And you should know that Rivka was a Neviah, she was a prophet. And at that moment, it was like Yaakov was coming to speak with his rabbi. and is asking him, is this mutar for me to do this maaseh, even though it's a little bit honest? And she goes to him, alai, mutar, you can do it. And he goes and do it, and he does it. And what happens? He gets the blessing. And when Esav comes back, what does it say? What does the pasuk say? Tza'aka gedola. He screamed out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a big scream. A big scream. Now what happened? Two things, Yaakov Avinu was punished for this. Alai, of course, we know, is Roshei Tevot, Esav, Lavan, Yosef. But we see Midah Keneged Midah, that what happened with Yaakov? His son Yosef was sold by his brothers. They took his striped tunic that his father made for him, and they rubbed it in an animal's blood, and they gave it back to him. And he says, do you recognize this tunic? That's your son's tunic. He was eaten by wild animals. Which blood did they dip the tunic into? The blood of a goat. Why? Because you wore the jacket with the coat fur. Second thing, who told him that? Another side point in there also to show you another thing. Who told him that about the tunic? Yehuda. Yehuda came to his father and told him, you see this? Hakerna, you recognize this? Hashem gave it back to me. Later on, when his sons were married to the most beautiful woman, Tamar at the time, they both slept with her and they died for what they did. Eventually, what happened with them, that there was a certain situation that Yehuda himself ended up having a relationship with Tamar. And when she came, she was pregnant from Yehuda's children, and everyone thought that in that time, if a person slept out of wedlock and became pregnant, it was a sin. She had to be put down, capital punishment. So they brought her to the judges, which is Yehuda, and he came to tell them, what is this? And she pulled out the staff that he gave it to her as collateral for payment, and the wicks. And what did she say to him? Hakerna, which is the same exact thing he told his father when he said, you recognize this tunic. Same exact thing, measure for measure. Kadosh Baruch Hu said, what you do for another person, just know it's going to come back to you. Exactly the same way. And the second thing that Yaakov got paid back for what he did to Esav, second thing, we didn't think about it, it's right now. I'll tell you. Shalom Aleichem. The second thing is this. Tza'aka gedola. When Esav heard that the blessing was taken from him, what did he do? He had to cry out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Where's the only other place we see tza'aka gedola in the Torah? Come on. I'm coming to you, the Shiva Bakr over here. Come on. Huh? Bachurim? That's it. Megillat Esther. Mordechai, tza'aka gedola. When the decree went out from Haman, la'arog, la'ashmin, v'la'abed, to kill every single Jew, Hashem waited so many generations to give it back. We see that when you do something to another person, even if, al pi halacha, even if it's another way to, you signed a document, it's okay. If you cause another person pain, don't think it's not going to come back to you even in the smallest manner. Because Hashem says even there. And that's exactly, in the business place, is exactly where we have to act with the highest level of emunah. Because you have to believe 100%. I'm going to be honest. If this car is going to sell, it's going to sell. He's going to come here and tell him the transmission is blown. He's still going to buy it. Why? Because Baruch Hu wants me to make the sale. I'm going to be honest with him. What do I care anyway? At the end of the day, if Hashem wants me to sell, I'm going to sell it. That's the highest level of emunah. You go to shiur, you hear, go be in emunah, go be in emunah, go be in emunah. Right? And then the next day you have a sale, you said, I'm going to use little sneaky tactics to sell this. I'm going to go around this, I'm going to try and find a way to get around. Just be honest to him, and I guarantee you, if you're meant to sell, you'll sell. I'm telling you, I used to work also in the cold calling sales positions. I used to call people. I had friends sitting next to me. What would they do? They would badmouth the competition. Yeah, they like this, they like that, they like this, they like that. Always talking, I don't know what, some nonsense. The truth of the matter was our competition was probably a little bit better than us. But that's how we were trying to sell. I would call people. I would tell them, listen, the service here and there, it's almost identical. No matter what, it's going to get done. Between us or them, we have a track record, they have a track record. We've been in the business 20 years, they've been in the business 20 years. They do good, we do good. They'll charge you 10, I'll charge you 7.5. You ready to go or not? That's it. Guy says, yeah, sounds good. Signs the paperwork. Just be honest. Why I gotta lie to you? Yeah, they suck, they're gonna ruin your deal, No, they're good, I'm good, I'll charge you less. Here you go. What's the problem? It's a good enough incentive. Why you have to go and drive? That's why you put the emunah into play. You're putting the emunah into practice, and it's not just there. It's everything you learn. I had a guy come over here one time in the shiur. Everyone knows the real shiur is the after hours. For me at least. Everyone else goes to play basketball. I sit over here, usually 3-4 hours. I come home 1 o'clock in the morning, come as a zombie. I was talking to somebody. One time someone came over here. I was talking to him after the shiur. We're sitting down, me and him, and we're talking. Right, can you do me a favor? Give me Pirkei Avot. Chapter 2, verse 2. Right? We're sitting down, me and him, and talking. And in the end, we're sitting down for an hour, me and him. He says, you know what? I'm inspired. I want to start being closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what did I tell him? I told him, if you don't set an action right now, some type of action to solidify this inspiration, this motivation you have right now, what's going to happen? Tomorrow morning, it's going to be out the window. So I sat down with him for about 30 minutes, convincing him to take it upon himself. And he took it upon himself 5 minutes of Torah a day. 5 minutes in Torah while driving to work. Instead of 45 minutes Katy Perry, 5 minutes Torah. Yeah? Or whatever, Pop Smoke, or Smoke Pop, whatever, everyone in that thing. Huh? What do you say? Huh? What? You like that one, huh? You didn't get that one for a second. Huh? Katy Perry, Pop Smoke, the remix. Okay? He's listening 40 minutes in the car, so 5 minutes of Torah. 5 minutes of Torah, it's enough to solidify in your mind. Or tefillin in the morning, or one Shabbat, or whatever it is, depending on your level. Take one thing, you get inspired, one action, one thing you take upon yourself to make that learning into action. Make it into pe'ulah. Make it something because you're not going to get lost. You get inspired, you leave over here, you can say, oh, you know what, right now I'm coming to take it out. Okay, I can. We'll finish with this story. A beautiful story, I heard it today firsthand. From the guy himself. He says that this was a yeshiva avrech, sitting down learning in Israel. One of the big yeshivot in Israel, Panovich. You guys over there know Panovich? You heard that in the back? Panovich is one of the top yeshivot in Israel. Top. So he remembers that during COVID, when they were giving out those checks, right? Everyone got a check of a certain amount of money, right? Whatever it was. So they came to him and they said to him, listen, you want to take one of those checks? I don't remember what those checks were called, but they gave everyone unemployed.
Stimulus checks, not employment.
The stimulus checks? No, stimulus. The stimulus check. Huh? The stimulus check. So he said, someone came to him and says, listen, I can get you $15,000. But he says, listen, I don't know, I never worked a day in my life. I'm a yeshiva avrech. I never once paid taxes. I never once worked. I never did anything. Well, this thing was made for people who were working, had a salary, lost their salary, or even if they were working commission-based, but they were expecting to make something, right? But they didn't make, it's for them. I was never expecting to get paid this year. I'm a yeshiva avrech. So the guys told him, his friends told him, don't worry, it's okay, take it. He said, listen, al pi halacha, maybe you're right, maybe it's mutar. But I want to ask my rabbi, al pi hashkafa. So he goes to his rabbi and says, Rabbi, I want to understand, what do I do? Is it right or is it not right? The rabbi tells him, adif lo. Shouldn't do it. For him, specifically. You shouldn't do it. He says, okay, I'm not going to do it. This was Monday night. On Wednesday night, his brother calls him. Says, I'm throwing an event in Manhattan on a rooftop. A few guys. I want you to come over here and give a drasha. I want you to come give, what's it called? Shiur for the guys. So he gets over there. A few business guys in Manhattan. They were doing a party. His brother was DJing. Music, rooftop party. Sounds nice. No, go after. Right? Long story short, they're hanging out. No, I'll give it a shot. What's the problem? I have another one prepared for the party. As long as you bring me a mojito. Okay? So he comes and says, I'm going to give it a shot. So he comes over there. He gets to the occasion. Well, 30 minutes, he's sitting down. The guys are still, he's sitting outside. Happened to be, was actually Sfirat Omer also. He's sitting outside. He comes back in. 12 guys, he starts talking. 2 guys over there. Everyone else is, you know how it is. Sometimes you speak and, a few guys paying attention, a few guys not paying attention. But 2 guys like this, glued to every word he's saying. So he speaks. At the end of the event, one guy tells him, what's your phone number? He gives him his phone number. All of a sudden, he gets his Zelle notification, $350. I didn't come here for that. I came here with Rabim. I came to give it a shot. I didn't come for the money. No, I insist. Okay, he goes home. 2 days later, he gets a phone call from these 2 guys. They're business partners. He said, listen, we really like your style. We like the way you teach, like the way this. We want to start learning with you every day in Manhattan, in our office, 9:30 to 10:30. And we're going to pay you. I'm going to pay you. So he goes to them, yeah, why not? I don't have a problem. How much do you want to pay me? So they said to him, whatever, we know it's the first time. What are you expecting? So they asked his brother. So he says, my brother, he tells them that the Avrech is a very humble guy. He's not going to tell you. He's going to give you 2 numbers. He's going to tell you the modest number, and he's going to tell you the number he actually needs. Right? So I'm telling you, because you guys have it, Baruch Hashem, give him the number he actually needs. Don't give him the modest number. So he tells them, listen, from my experience, anywhere from 2, even up to 4,000. That's what he says to them, for the month. So the guys say, no problem, 4,000. They already set up the account, automatic payment, $1,000 a week to this guy for him to come to Manhattan to learn with them for an hour. So first day on the way there, what happens? He's Avrech. He doesn't have a phone with GPS. Let's try going to Manhattan without GPS. So his sister gave him an old device that his father used to use called the Tam-Tam. Right? It's called Tam-Tam, a GPS thing called Tam-Tam. So he put it on, and he puts the GPS, and he puts the address, and he plugs it into the ash thing or whatever, the thing for the lighting the cigarettes. He plugs it in, and it's working. He gets to the tunnel. All of a sudden, he gets to the tunnel. No reception. The whole screen goes black. He gets over the other side. He said, wait a second, where am I going? He's waiting for the thing to reload. Nothing's going on. Some reason says, I'm going to make a U-turn. Makes a U-turn, back into the tunnel. Now he ends up back in Brooklyn. See him? Ends up back in Brooklyn now. Yeah?
It's a real story.
It's a real story. Heard it firsthand. Back in Brooklyn now. Now he says, okay, I'm going to be smart about it. He pulls over to the side, waits for this thing to recalibrate, to get the connection back. He puts it on and he writes down the steps. When I get over there, I know what I'm going to do. Goes back into the again, he loses the sign. He says, this tam-tam, bemet metumtam. Which basically translates to this tam-tam, which means metumtam, like stupid. Yeah? So he says he gets into the tunnel and he goes over there and he follows the steps. He gets over there. He's an hour late. He tells the guys, listen, I'm sorry, it was an hour late. Tells them the story. They start laughing. Sit down learning together. $1,000 a week. On Chanukah, they gave him a $1,500 bonus. And they did this for 6 months. He said the amount of money that he got was $25,000 over the span of 6 months. And most of the days, they didn't ask him to even come learn. Not only that, after the first day, they told him, we're not only going to make you, you're not going to have to drive over here. We're going to send you a personal driver. So they just send him a personal driver, take him back and forth. And some days he didn't have to even go on the phone. Says at the end of the 6 months, instead of making 15K from that way, I made 25K, and I also had Mezikur Rabin. Lasted for 6 months, 25K. And not only did I get the money that I was supposed to get, because Kosh Baruch Hu, I'm going to get it, I got 10,000 more, and on top of that, I also was able to help 2 Jews get closer to Kosh Baruch Hu. Wow, what's greater than that? Huh? I'm just looking for the same job too, to be honest with you. He told me about it, I said, wait, they're still looking? I put the suit back on, I said, wait a second, I'm also driving to Manhattan. Now, I know I have GPS, I'll get there on time. You know, I'm the metumtam, but I'll get there on time, don't worry about it.
3.9 GPA.
Yes. Say the Betzina. Go Kosh Baruch Hu. After I'm taking test over there with Emunah, I say Kosh Baruch Hu, I don't know the answer, pitom an eyelash falls down on B. This must be B. Huh? Emet. Last semester I had a class, I have guys who could be ma'id on this. I had a class, construction class. My daughter was born that year. The professor over there, I don't know, she liked me. I never came to class. Every test she put me down sitting next to her, me and her. And on the test, I would say, go to the test, she'd be like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. The whole thing, everything. Every time I come to her, she'd be like, I don't know what the answer is, but if I had to guess, it would be this. Huh? Kosh Baruch Hu said, well, you think I'm going to lose when you go on my ways? What was I doing in my last year of college? First of all, I had a daughter. Second of all, I was giving shiurim. Thursday daytime, not nighttime, but for Thursday daytime. I was giving shiurim, I was getting closer, I was getting more involved, I was getting the guys. But b'kitzur, you never lose out when you go on the ways of Kosh Baruch Hu. I promise you that. When you take the emunah and you put it into practice, I promise you only have what to gain. And just know and believe the truth. Don't just come here, listen, and say, oh, okay, I'm going to go home, it was all nice and dandy. Know and believe that when you're going to put it into action, only the best things are going to happen to you in the whole entire world. And as I prepared this, my charuta, I told him the class, he told me, you know what's funny? Check Pirkei Avot, chapter 2, verse 2. It says over there, Rabban Gamliel, בנו של רבי יהודה הנשיא, רבי יהודה הנשיא was the redactor of the Mishnah, אומר יפה תלמוד תורה עם דרך ארץ, שיגעת שניהם משכחת עוון, וכל תורה שאין עימה מלאכה, סופה בטל וגוררת עוון. It says over there that a person, there's no such a thing as learning Torah without first being a human being. You have to also be a human being. And that's go inside what we said beautifully, the first point. That when you go on the ways of Kosh Baruch Hu, you're right, maybe al-halakha, it's okay. But at the end of the day, you have to see and think to yourself, I have to do everything in my power to make sure the other person is not getting hurt. Be honest with them. And the second thing, every learning you have in your whole entire life, if it doesn't come with a melacha, it doesn't come with some type of action, so far, to get lost. In the end, it's destined to get lost. 100%. So 100% you come, you learn, you get inspired. Everything you do, and this is not only in Torah, this is everything you do. You learn, apply. You learn, apply. Do it. Make it into action, because if not, it'll get lost. That's the number one lesson this Parashat is teaching us. To learn, but also to do. Amen.